Welcome everybody to another edition of the Hurry Up. I'm your host, Adam. Let's get into this. I'm not even going to slow build this. Let's get right into this. So last night, I was having a discussion with friends. And they were saying, well, we need to bring back Joe Judge. Consistency. He deserves another shot because he didn't get this. He didn't get that. Blah, 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 blah. Give me a break. They told me, what's my plan? Who's coming in here? Blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you what my plan is. You bring in a GM from outside the organization. You tell that guy or gal, this is your team. If you want to keep Joe Judge, good. You don't, get him out of here. You want to keep Daniel Jones? Good. Get him out of here. If you don't want to keep him. You don't just force this guy to keep a head coach and a quarterback, or person, I should say, to have a quarterback forced and a coach forced, knowing that they're lame ducks. But yet, you want to have a lame duck coach make 10 draft picks this year because you want to say he's going to lay a foundation. Now, if this coach ain't here, those players are still going to be here, and the coach is not. So how is that laying a foundation if the coach ain't going to be here? So what you do is, you bring in your GM, you give him a 3 to 5 year plan, you bring him in with his head coach, and they both decide who stays and who goes. This team has 10 draft picks, one in the possible top 10, another one inside the top 15. 2 draft picks, 10 overall. This is an attractive job to have right now if you want to be a head coach to rebuild this franchise. But Adam, who are you going to bring in? You can bring in Wink Martindale, Eric Bieniemy if you want. I don't care. Whoever comes out of the coaching carousel that you deem worthy enough to start this franchise with. But what you're going to do, now you're going to upgrade Wes Callaway from inside the team where the team's offense stinks, so you want to bring somebody from this staff and promote him? Because that's going to work out. Because look what's happened with the offense. Oh, but you know, Adam, he doesn't have an offensive line. It's not all on him. Yeah, we can get to Mara at a later time. And we can get to all those guys at a later time. But the head coach makes decisions for this team. He doesn't just walk around with a headset on. Then why have Coach Judge out there? Because that's what was being presented to me. Well, you know, he didn't have his offensive coordinator. You know, that's not his game plan. It's Freddie Kitchen. No, that's your game plan. You know what this guy just said? Oh, we're going to start play both quarterbacks. What is this, a college team? You want to play both quarterbacks. Like I said, my plan is you bring in a new GM. You got 10 draft picks to start off, to build your foundation. Now, the new coach, whomever it may be, has that vision. They can keep Daniel Jones. They can't keep Daniel Jones. And then you have these two guys build their team the way they want it. Not somebody they inherited, not an ex-GM hiring a new coach and it failed. No, you bring them both together. Now, Mara's probably going to be soft because that's what he is. Because look what he's done with his team. They have their fingerprints all over this team. He's probably going to be soft and bring in Kevin Abrams because he doesn't want anybody to challenge his authority. But to bring in a guy who is, 10 and 21, who has more blowout losses in his tenure as a Giants coach than Tom Coughlin and the 4 years that we had after him. From 2015 to 2019, there's been 6 blowout losses by those 3 coaches that were on this team. And in 2 seasons, he had 6. But we can bring him back. It's okay. It's okay. Bring him back because you know what? Hey, the man for the job. You know, he's proven that he can get this team fired up. There's no emotion on the sideline. And then what's going to happen? So this team plays hard for their coach. Next year when they're running to the ground because he's running laps with his team. And we're sitting here and he goes 0-3 because the new offensive coordinator, it takes time to gel. And all the new pieces that they got takes time to gel. And he's out the door. We're going to be like, and the players turn on him knowing that he's a lame duck coach. Yeah, that's great. That's great. What GM offensive coordinator is going to want to come in here knowing the coach is a lame duck coach? Now, you want to get a good guy in here, you're going to have to pay some good money. That's another reason why Kevin Abrams may be kept. Because if it's a John Dorsey or a Scott Pioli or a guy who's not going to just sit there and be a yes man, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to have to dish out some money. Joe Douglas didn't want to go to the Jets. Guess what? They paid the man and, everything's already fine. So you can get whatever guy you want to get. You're just going to have it up the purse strings. But, it's okay. So here's the other thought that was floated out there. You bring in a new GM, you keep Joe Judge, and then if he stinks, it's a clean slate. How is it a clean slate when you're bringing in a new GM and then going to fire a coach? How is that a clean slate? A clean slate is you clean everything out. You don't just clean one. That's like taking a shower and washing all your body except your ass and say, yeah, I'm fully clean. Like, how are you fully clean? You forgot to wash the one plate that could be dirty. Give me a break. Clean slate. It's a clean slate. How is it a clean slate? You shouldn't force the coach on a GM who may or may not want that coach. But we're going to force him because we want consistency and continuity and blah, blah, blah. Then you're going to force him with a QB who we all know is not great, but we're going to force that anyways. For me, if I were the GM personally, and I were running this team, I'd bring somebody outside the organization from one of the winning franchises that are going on right now. Probably the dude from Dallas who's setting up the draft. Okay, that guy, the head of the player personnel, maybe bring that guy in. I doubt he's going to come because Jerry Jones is probably going to be like, Or if you want to bring in John Dorsey, who was rumored to possibly be interviewing for the job in 2018, bring him in. But if John Dorsey goes, I don't like Daniel Jones, what are you going to say? Oh, we can't hire you because we want Daniel Jones. No, you should not be tied to a player and a coach. I don't care what it is, and especially to some guy who's done nothing with this franchise in 2 seasons. And we spent $200 million to go to the playoffs. Yeah, we're 4-11. But hey, it's okay, guys. We're going to run it back with Joe Judge. No problem. It's okay. Because, you know what, if he loses, we'll just clean house with, you know, the new GM that we have in place that's wasted 10 picks to fit a guy system who's not even going to be here anymore. But that's okay. Make this your coach. Give him 10 players that may or may not fit the new coach's system in a year, but it's okay. Because you know what? We're going to run it back, and Joe Judge is that guy to run it back. Give me a break. Give me a break. Oh, but you don't know who's going to hire. What if the new coach goes 4-11? What are you going to fire that guy? No, because they have a plan. Because they're coming in together. And we got to know what that plan is. And if they strip it down, the team, and start trading off assets and getting rid of players, then yes, it's going to be in their vision. So are they going to struggle? Maybe. But when you got a team like the Jets, who is the same record as us, whose expectations were to win more than 4 games, and we're sitting here, our expectations were to make the playoffs, and we're happy about that, and bring back this guy. That's cool. It's all right. It's okay. We'll bring it back, Adam. I mean, most likely the guy's coming back anyways, because John Mara's going to probably do something stupid like that, because he's too busy worried about paying coaches from previous firings than he is actually winning football. I don't care how many guys you got to pay. Pay up, John. You did it for the free agency, so now do it now. But you know what? What's he going to do? John Mara. John Mara is so tone deaf with this team that he's going to bring back the same head coach, probably promote Kevin Abrams, and then give you a medium soda to say, here you go, hope you like that. And then when nobody's sitting in the stands because everybody's pissed off at this team and they're selling their PSLs because this coach, this owner doesn't get it, don't worry. That'll make changes happen. Sitting here telling me we keep Joe Judge, because we want to have consistency. What? Consistent losing? Oh, but we can't beat the Browns and fire our coach every 2 years. You do what you do to win. If that means fire your guy, you fire the guy and you continue on. And since Dave Gettleman is most likely out the door, why don't you bring them both in together like the 49ers did? Hell, is anybody crying about Steve Wilkes getting fired for Arizona? No one's crying over spilled milk there. They fired that coach, brought in a new coach, brought in a new quarterback, and said, here we go. Boom, and they off and running in a couple years. About to be playoff bound. But what? Giants in 3 years have a quarterback that can't stay healthy, have a coach that's in over his head, right? His special team stinks. His offense is broken. The only team that responds and is starting to collapse on him is the defense. Yet they took, 4.5 weeks to get ready because we didn't want to play him in the preseason. So he lost games that way. in the first few weeks, and our coach says, well, it's going to take a little bit to get revved up. Well, no, coach, they should be revved up. That is your job. You are the head coach. You need to get these guys ready. And Joe Looney, oh, great. He's a great player. Zach Fulton's a Pro Bowler. No, he's not. Zach Fulton was a journeyman that we signed as depth piece. Oh, but he's going to be better than what we got out there. Give me a break. Joe Looney, oh, he played on that offensive line. There's a reason that guy was sitting at home until training camp. Telling me he's great. Telling me he's good. He's better than what we got. Dude couldn't even make it to training camp. But he's better than what we got. Jonathan Harrison was brought up. Said, well, they could have kept Jonathan Harrison. No, that guy was cut August 31st. And then if it wasn't for Nick Gates' injury, he was brought back 3 weeks later. Only to September 22nd, only to be brought back or to tear his Achilles in October, and now he's on IR. And didn't even get one start when we were looking for a center. But no, what do? We get these guys who retired in early training camp. Joe Judge sat down and waited till after working out with the Browns to be like, a week before the season, we're going to bring in Billy Price and trade this guy. How about don't sign Adoree Jackson and bring in more offensive linemen? No, what did you do? You got rid of Kevin Zeitler. You didn't draft anybody in this year's draft. And then you sat there and told us, don't worry, we'll be fine with our selections. We'll be fine with the guys we got in-house. And it backfired in their face. That should be a fireable offense. But you know what? It's okay. We'll run it back. And if this guy goes 4-13, it's okay, Giant fans. Joe Judge is here. He's going to be our coach next year. And he's going to get 10 draft picks to fix this team and end up going 7-10, and we're going to go, gee, golly willikers, guys, we won 7 games. Boom, let's bring it back again. No. You need to bring in a quarterback to challenge Daniel Jones, and you need to put the shortest of shortest leashes on Joe Judge. You get 8 games. If you are 1-8, 1-7, 2-6, you're out of here. You better come out the gate next year, guns a-blazing, your hair on friggin' fire. If this guy comes back next year. We still have 2 games to play out. Things could change. The fan base is the one that John Mara tends to listen to. So maybe he'll listen to us and say, get rid of this guy. But no. According to few, we bring Joe Judge back. Even though they think he's going to get fired anyways, let's waste a year and give this guy with a new GM 10 draft picks to hope that he's going to be here next year for then the next coach that comes in whose players may not fit this system will have these players that were foundational players who he may not even want. But it's okay. He's going to have 10 picks. I mean, you're telling me this job's not going to be attractive to everybody else? You're the New York Giants. You're going to have 2 first-round picks. You're going to have 10 picks across the board. And you're now going to try to sell the fan base that you want to bring him back and then bring an offensive coordinator. What offensive coordinator is going to want to come here knowing the coach is lame duck? What coordinator is going to want to put his career on the line for some guy who hasn't done nothing? Oh, but Bill Parcells had his first 2 years. No, Bill Parcells had 1 bad season and then his second season went 9-7. Oh, don't worry, I got more. Dan Reeves went 11-5 and then 9-7 his second year. That warrants bringing somebody back a 3rd year. Jim Fossil. What? He went 10-5-1 and then 8-8 the second season. That's 18 games. I mean, I can keep going down the list. Even McAdoo has more wins than Joe Judge. But hey, it's okay. It's okay. Giant fans, Joe Judge is coming back. Daniel Jones is coming back. And we're going to get the same mediocrity we had for a year because we want to bring it back for consistency. What is consistent about a guy who has regressed? In 2 seasons of coaching this team, regressed. Not progress, regression. Everybody on the team stinks. Everybody. Yeah, but you like Azeez Ojulari. Oh, he's great. Who cares? He drafts players. You're supposed to like players. How else are you going to play the game? Foundational. Oh, but he didn't draft Matt Purr. He did draft Matt Purr. They've had 3 draft picks in 2020 for the offensive line. Him and Dave Gettleman sat there and drafted Andrew Thomas, Matt Purr, and Shane Lemieux. But hey, Joe Judge had nothing to do with those. Those were not his picks. He's not the head. He just sits on the sideline and claps his hands like this. Give me a break. Why is he in the draft room then? I know Chris Mara and John Mara are touching this team. I already explained that to you. They need to go too, but they're the owners. Guess what? They ain't going nowhere. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to you about a guy who's 4-11, lost 8 games by double digits, and we want to bring him back for consistency. What ring does he have on his finger? How'd he get that ring? His team he's supposed to be an expert at is dropping the ball. There's penalties all over the place, but that's not on coaching. No, but then who is it on? Who is it on if it's not on the coaching? My God. That's how things work. You have a head coach, you have other coaches, and those coaches are supposed to feed down that message that the head coach has to those players. Those players, then if they don't get it between the ears, that's on the coach. Oh, well, the teacher doesn't get a student, you give up on... No, teachers don't give up on students. Good teachers find a way to make that student who doesn't understand the homework to get it right. Or you try to figure out how to help that player. If he doesn't get it, you'll get rid of that player. We still had Nate Solder starting all these games. And then when you put in Matt Pert, he gets injured. So now we'll never know what he's going to be. But it's okay. We're going to bring back this guy. Don't worry, Giant fans. John Mara's got this under control. He's going to promote Kevin Abrams. Great move. On the same staff that brought in these players. He's going to promote Joe Judge to give him a fair shake. The only reason he's still on this team is because Jason Garrett was on this ball club and wasn't fired till midseason. So John Mara's going to give him a get-out-of-jail-free card and say, "Here you go. Sorry, kid, we meddled in your offensive coordinator hire. Here you go. We'll give you everything you need to go. Here you go." You should have done that last year, because then this year he could have been fired, and we could have been like, all right, good, let's move on and get this. But no, we want to half-ass it like we always do. The Giants have been half-assing it since Tom Coughlin left. They fired Tom Coughlin, kept the GM. The GM promoted the offensive coordinator. 2 years later, they're both gone. So now you want to do the same thing. So then you bring in Dave Gettleman. I'm going to fix the offensive line. Hog mollies. Done nothing in 4 years. Yet some people wanted to keep him. It's not Dave Gettleman's fault. He didn't draft all those players. Yeah, you drafted him from Pat Shurmur's scheme. They didn't work out. Yet we fired Pat Shurmur, whose offense was 10 times better than this offense, and had a problem with the defense and the offensive line coach. Yet we still fired him. And because we're worried about paying a coach and we didn't give him a fair shot, we're going to keep this guy who's regressed. Doesn't come up with any creativity. Doesn't do anything on offensively to make this team go, oh, well, here's Mike Glennon. Guess who chose Mike Glennon? Guess who chose Mike Glennon? Guess who sat in the room, looked at the quarterback options, and said, hey, guys, we don't want to spend that much money on a quarterback. Hey, let's bring in tall Mike Glennon. Because guess what? He did a great job for Jacksonville. We knew what we were getting in Mike Glennon, and we still signed him. But it's okay. We're going to run it back. All right, I'm out of here.